Welcome to Determined to Succeed. I'm your host, Dawn, also known as the Unique Connector. So, Mondays can kind of bring blues, and sometimes you're looking for that little bit of inspiration and motivation to keep you going. I'm so excited to have Lisa on the show. And why I bring on different guests is sometimes for them to talk about what's on their chest, but then also to have something for them to go back when maybe they're having a moody blue kind of Monday where they can motivate themselves, but also spread some sunlight to other people also that are maybe having the Monday blues. So, Lisa, as I say that, what's kind of coming up for you where you would want to love to hear sometime in the future when you're having a moment of Monday blues?
In regards to, like, if I'm having a down day, what would I wanna listen to?
Yeah, or even just in business where you're kind of questioning things.
Ooh, that's a tough one. As you know, being an entrepreneur, every day changes, and it could be the best days, and sometimes you just feel, "Is this working? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I going in the right direction?" I think for me, it's lean into yourself, and do everything that you can possibly do in this moment, and then reassess later, tonight, tomorrow morning, but keep going. Don't stop.
Mm,
Pivot. If anything, just pivot because that will get you to eventually the path that you will be on and that will lean into your strengths, where you'll start coming out and you'll start shining to other people that are around you and being able to lean in into those strengths to be the best version of yourself.
I love that so much. And I was going to say, what is a moment that you're really proud of that you pivoted in the past?
Leaving corporate and starting my own business. I think
Mm,
that was my big moment. I've started many businesses in the past, but this last business that I have right now, like my fractional CFO business, actually leaving corporate and going all in on it, I think that was the moment for me. That was like my pivoting moment where I was like, I'm doing this, I'm in, I'm 100%, and I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if this is going to succeed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach my full potential. I don't know if this is going to end up where I think it's going to end up, but just jumping in, like jumping
mm,
into the deep end and not knowing if I'm going to be able to swim. But I think my past experiences have really given me the confidence where, Lisa, you can at least tread water. So if you can tread
mhm.
water, you can learn to swim. And I think for me, that was like my biggest aha moment. It's okay, you can either stay in corporate and you can continue doing the same thing year after year for the next 30 years, or you can take a risk, do something that you've never done before, go all in for a year or 2 years or 3 years. When you look in hindsight, you're like 3 years over an 80-year span is not a lot of time. And so I
Yeah.
think for me, it was just taking that step back. It's like everyone is like, "Oh, you need to be successful right now. You need to be successful tomorrow, and you need to make $1,000,000, your first year of business to be deemed successful." And it's I don't do I need $1,000,000 to be successful, or is it just being happy, showing up
Mm,
every day to work and in the space that I want to, with the flexibility that I have to be able to see my friends and family whenever I want, to not have to ask to take PTO. I can go to my niece's, recital or pick her up from school. Like, I could do all these different things now that I wasn't able to do before, and to me, that's success. To me, that is happiness, and I don't need to be making
mm.
$1,000,000 for that. And so for me, I
Yeah.
was willing to take that risk, whether it was a year or 3 years or 5 years, if I'm not making $1,000,000, but I'm still happy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say, how do you even put a value on happiness? And that's where even too for a number girl, that's
Mhm.
where you take in the feelings and time is so important. And I think that's the
Yeah.
part too where, even for you as being a number crunching kind of gal, what would
Mhm.
you say to somebody that's maybe questioning things because their numbers aren't looking the way they hoped that it would be?
If your numbers aren't the way that you hoped you can be, you can always seek out someone. Someone
Mm,
who is more experienced than you, someone who knows more about the subject matter. I do this all the time. I'm a numbers gal, but my network is immense with people who are in the finance and accounting and tax industry. So for me, I tap into them all the time with questions and stock markets and investing and, regardless of whatever it is. And I know that I don't know everything. How can I?
mm,
At
mhm,
36 years old, I'm never gonna know everything about everything, but when I tap into these resources and I'm able to not only pull information from them, but also share and give information and knowledge to them, that's the beauty, that's the blessing that I have with the network that I've created, and it's also imperative too for me because I'm learning things. If I didn't ask questions or I didn't talk to my network, how would I be learning and growing? And I wouldn't even know what I'm doing wrong if I didn't have those questions. So it's
mm.
my first recommendation for anybody would be like, hey, just ask the questions and start seeking out experts in your field and from a non-judgmental space, and I feel like that's easier said than done because everybody is puts a lot of weight and pressure on themselves like, oh, I could be here with my finances or I could be here and I should be here and this person is here, and it's, you know what? Everyone is on a different level. Everyone has had different obstacles that they've had to encounter to get to the place that they're at today. But you can always change and you can always adapt, even today. And you still have time, and time isn't finite, but you still have
Mm.
time to get back on track. And that's one of the things that I always try to tell people. It's like, okay, you've at least recognized that where you're at today is not where you want to be, but you can still get there, and you still can, and if you just tap into the right people and you just start having the conversations and you start building that knowledge and applying it, anything is possible. Like starting a business, anything is possible.
It is, and I think you've had so many great little nuggets even in this conversation right here of just, you know, asking, pivoting, trying,
Mhm.
and I think even earlier what you said too of like 3 years out of 80 years, why not try it?
Yes, that's it. That's literally it, and, like, I think we were just so brainwashed in corporate that you have to climb the ladder and you have to
Yeah.
spend so much time in a role before you can get a promotion, before you can get more money, and honestly, I hated that. I hated the fact that I had to wait. I hated the fact that even if you added value, you had to do certain things before somebody was then allowed to give you the opportunity for a promotion. And it's like, well, if I want it, why can't I just go after it? And so I think that just like totally changed my mindset. Like I think like for me, it was like, okay, like I don't want to wait. I want to just do this. And even if I fail, I would rather fail trying than regret not trying at all. And in, 10, 15 years from now, I could see other people who are now thriving in their businesses because they took the risk that I didn't take, 10, 15 years
Mm,
ago. And so for me, I think that was also my biggest fears. I stayed in corporate, and don't get me wrong, like corporate is great for some people. Like, and I'm not trying to knock that at all. For some people that is perfect. That is their lifestyle. That is something that they love. They love the stability and they love knowing, okay, I'm going to be gone for this amount of time and then I can come home and I know that I'm going to have a paycheck and I know I'm going to have PTO and I know I'm not going to have a ton of stress. That's okay. That just wasn't the life that I wanted to live. And I was willing to take that risk, the 3 years out of the 80 to try this, and hopefully it works, and if it doesn't work, I can always pivot into something else, and I think that was also part of my mindset. It was, "Okay, I at least know what I don't want or what I don't like, but I don't know what I do like, and I won't know unless I try." And I think that's, like, the
mm,
biggest thing too is you don't really know what you don't know what you don't know until you
yeah.
get exposed to something, and then that's when you learn. You're like, "Okay, now I know what I don't like or what I do like." And then you can move forward or you move backward or you pivot.
Yeah, and I would say, life is seasons, and I think that too.
Yes.
Embrace the season, embrace the time. And we always focus on what's the worst that can happen, but what's the best thing that could happen? And I think
Yes.
that's the part too of the unknown
Mhm,
of seeing where things could come to fruition that you never dreamt of. Because I think that part too, where we don't know of all the things that could possibly happen or the hiccups or the
mhm.
challenges, but also too, we don't know what all the greatness that can come our way.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, and leaning into your strengths. Like, I think
Mm,
so many people are focused on, "Okay, how can I be better in these areas?" And it's like, "Well, what about if you just lean into what you're good at?" Have you and then seeing how that blossoms into potential other seasons that you can then go into.
mm. Well, I hope, one day if you ever have doubt that, comes in or even others, they can listen to this episode and you can remind yourself of the greatness and also to just the words of wisdom that you just gave, because I think that's the part that sometimes we need that little motivation boost or that little insight to help us reframe things when sometimes
Mhm.
we're really down or things seem hard. Life is hard, and I think that's the part
Yeah.
where Lisa, I'm so thankful that we connected, and I kind of giggle how we connected online where you saw a friend share my name and then you're like, "I need to know this person." And I'm so glad you
Yeah.
reached out. The world's the
Yes.
oyster. And
Yes.
I think
Mhm.
like you said earlier, ask questions, reach out to people, build relationships, and you never know what can happen. But any last piece of advice or thought that you would love to have in case you ever have a moment of doubt, Lisa?
Well, I've got 2. 1, don't stop, keep going. And then 2, if something frightens you, like you're scared to do something, that's probably something you should do. And
Mm,
when it comes to business or new venture opportunities, if it scares you, that's probably a signal that that's something you should probably look into, and you should probably lean in. And I'm not saying you need to jump right in 100%. I'm not saying, like,
mhm,
invest all your money in a stock. That is not what I'm saying. But, hey, that means something is stirring inside you, and that means, like, that's lighting a fire. It's signaling something within you and something that maybe you should start pursuing or at least learning about and leading you on a path that could potentially be that leans into your strengths.
mm. Well, I appreciate you so much, Lisa, and this was exactly words of wisdom that I needed to hear today. So I hope the
Thanks,
listeners found some great, words of wisdom and, reach out to Lisa if you have questions or finding somebody else too that's going through this. But I truly appreciate you, Lisa. Keep shining bright, keep being you, and so thankful to have you in my circle. So I hope this was some Monday motivation that someone needed out there today. So thank you again, Lisa.
Thanks, Dawn.